Now, the application that Anthony was showing does have a component that needs to talk outside of the OpenShift cluster. The application connects to a Kafka broker running in another cloud provider. So because the microservices are running inside a satellite location, we can use the satellite link to send traffic back up outside of the location. So satellite link is kind of it comes in two flavors. There's one that talks for traffic going into your location, and another one for traffic leaving the location. But in either case, satellite provides a way to secure and monitor and meter traffic. So we're going to set up what's called a cloud link to connect this example application back out to a Kafka broker, and we're gonna let's do that now. So you start by going to your cluster where your application is running and click on link endpoints. So when you get to this page, you're going to see two options. You're going to see a satellite location on the left and a cloud on the right. There's a little schematic here on the right where you have your application and the tunnel going through the link connector in the cloud on the top and on the location on the bottom. So we're going to create a cloud location that's going to be pointing out to the Kafka broker. And then after it's created, after it builds a kind of a custom satellite endpoint for us, we're going to use that endpoint to configure the OpenShift deployment to send all traffic through that endpoint. So we start by just giving it a name so we can view it, so we can filter in our cloud monitoring later on. This is the destination. This is the destination that's outside of the location. This could be an IBM Cloud or really anywhere else that's a publicly accessible URL. In this case, this is in Confluence service. Once you give this information, you pick a protocol. This can be TCP, UDP, HTTPS. And once the endpoint is created, satellite gives you a custom URL. Let's see if we can. It's not here yet. We're going to use an existing endpoint that was created a few minutes ago that has a custom address that goes through the control plane back up into the IBM Cloud and out into the wider world. So the next step would be to use this inside your, if you're using a config map or a secret, in this case, we're using a secret to configure the pod in the cluster that needs to talk to a Kafka broker. So we're going to generate some load here, some virtual synthetic load to this application. And after some amount of time, something like maybe 10 minutes, we're going to go over to our cloud monitoring console, and we can filter. We'll be able to filter by endpoint to see traffic over time flowing through that endpoint. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because this is going to take, as traffic ramps up here, we're going to see it increase on the right here. Let me skip ahead until we get to the maximum amount. So let me back up a little bit here. Okay, so we've hit the peak traffic load. We're gonna go back to IBM console, and I'm gonna pause it here. So we're looking at up here. This looks like your kind of a typical observability dashboard. And under satellite link endpoint name, we are limiting it to Kafka Bootstrap. And then along the x-axis here, we have, we can zoom in and out to get the right time frame that we want. But we scroll down here we can see endpoint connections that are going over that link. So you can see this is your satellite ID, and little arrow here going through Kafka Bootstrap. So this is showing that this is traffic flowing from the satellite location through this endpoint over time. So in addition to being able to see the traffic, each endpoint has its own toggle in the UI, so at any time they can be turned on and off as well, if they need to be disabled for any reason. So in addition to, you can kind of keep an eye on all the traffic. Most of these links are internal IBM control plane traffic, like satellite, just satellite health and general kind of internal communications. But everything that's leaving the location can be viewed here, at least in terms of the volume of traffic.